Today, you guys, we're going to be talking about how to make COD great. So it used to be phenomenal. If you've been playing Call of Duty for quite some time, you already know that the glory days are sadly behind us. And most Call of Duty people will tell you that really the peak of the franchise is Black Ops 2 or the OG Modern Warfare 2. I guess it really just depends on who you talk to. But today we're going to go through a couple of my ideas that I think that Call of Duty sincerely needs. I think these are the actual answers in order to make this game what it could be. And we're going to start off the number one thing, because in my mind, TTK and map design are the two most important things to make a good or bad Call of Duty. So that brings us to my first idea, map creator. So the first thing I would do with map creator is make a mode where you could literally go in and start fresh, almost like in the Far Cry series when they used to be able to, create your own maps in its multiplayer. And you'd have an area where you could create a full-fledged map. But not only will we have a map creator, right? The whole purpose is to create great maps, right? For the players to be able to enjoy. Because how many times have you played a Call of Duty map and you're just thinking like, what the hell is this, right? Like how many times? I mean, even the map that I'm playing at behind us, Derelict on Black Ops 6, it's just atrocious. Most COD players know, like, these maps are trash. And so the main point of the map creator would be to allow the community to create maps that we love. Not only would I allow you to create a map, but each person would be able to create that map and there would be a map upvoting system, right? And then at the end of every month, Activision would essentially choose the top 3 best maps from the community and then put them in the official rotation. Not only that, but what you should do as Activision is you should pay each of those creators a certain amount of money for creating those maps and for those maps to be chosen. And I'm thinking a substantial amount, somewhere around $50,000 would be a good starting point, because this is why. They're a multi-billion-dollar franchise. This would do 2 things. Number one, it would take the strain off the devs to create good maps, and it would take the risk out of those maps being bad and poorly received by the community. Number 2, you would create a purpose. You would create an incentive for your own community to create the maps they love, essentially for free. Now, don't get me wrong, you'd have to pay $150,000, whenever, a month or whatever, but that in the grand scheme of Activision, that's absolutely nothing. You could also, in order to recoup some of that money, and I hate the microtransaction store, but since we're on it and since it is what it is, you could put some of the map things inside of the store. Maybe someone really enjoys creating maps. They enjoy what they do. They enjoy bringing excellent content to the community. You could put, different types of shaders, different types of, rocks, cars, different types of things that you could utilize in your map creator as part of the maps in the store and sell them as bundles. And again, I hate the store, but just for Activision to essentially justify paying this out. So this would do a multitude of things. It would make it so that maps come out created by the community, upvoted by the community, liked by the community, and it would give the community incentive to create their own maps, which would be substantially better than the ones we currently play. So number 1 is map creator, which brings us into our number 2 thing, and for me, this is our most important thing, and it's what I like to call the FOB. Now, for those of you that don't know, the FOB is essentially a forward operating base military terminology for those who aren't former military. I think that just makes sense and really relates into the military aspect of Call of Duty. But without spoiling the rest of the video, the FOB would essentially be Facebook, but for Call of Duty, right? You hop on the game and you can access it in-game or out of game. It's a real website and accessed by your, username in Call of Duty. And the FOB's sole purpose would be responsible for displaying everything about who you are and what you bring to the community. For example, we just spoke about map creation, right? Someone could go to your username, access your FOB, right? And not only could they see your combat record, your most recent games, games that you've uploaded, clips, screenshots, emblems that you've created, we're bringing that back, by the way, camos that you've created, we're bringing that back, by the way. They can see maps that you've created, how many upvotes and downvotes your maps have gotten, and just really just make it a more social space. It seems like that's what they want to do anyways. Not really sometimes, with the whole, banning you for talking and making it so you can't hear people. But the whole point of this would make to be to essentially showcase everything you bring to the table, while also making Call of Duty more connected, right? And that, like I said, that really just kind of ties into the map creator beforehand, what we were just recently speaking about. I think that this would make it more connected. You'd be able to see stats like we used to and see other things that each individual person brings to the table. And I think it's a phenomenal idea. My next one that I would bring to the table, and I think this is just as important, hang these operators. Nobody wants to play as a dumbass operator. The thing that I would bring in is full character creation. And I think this would be beneficial for both sides, right? Creating your own character from scratch, right? It builds a more personal experience, because instead of playing as some random guy named Woods that you don't know anything about, you don't know what he is, why he is, who he is, you don't really care, you certainly don't identify with him in any way, you could create whatever character you want, which would build you a more personal experience and more personal connection with your character. And also, again, every one of my additives and things that I would do would be beneficial for both sides, because let's be real, we all know that Activision is not just going to give us good shit for free. Sadly, those days are past. So we have to realize this. Character creation would open up opportunities for their stupid microtransaction store. You could sell me bundles of clothing, hats, sunglasses, tattoos, hairstyles, all these things. And if you make them reasonably priced, it would give me reason to go into the store, because everybody wants to look the way they want to look. And so I think a character creator would be absolutely wonderful. I think it'd be a great way to build a more personal experience and allow people to really connect more with who they're playing with. And I don't really think there's any negative for it. It's something Call of Duty's never done. It'd be new, it'd be fresh, and I think it'd be a great addition. Which brings me to my next one. And Black Ops 4 halfway did this, and there was nothing wrong with it. And this would also be linked into the FOB, as we spoke about earlier, a weapon camo creator. If you'll notice, one of my key things that I think would really bring Call of Duty back into the limelight and just really reach into that former glory that it had, it's all about personalization, right? All about creation, all about the player feeling like they matter and their decisions matter. And so a full weapon camo creation system would just add more personalization to the game, and it would build more of a rapport, right? You have your created character, maybe you're playing on your own created map, and now you're using your own custom created camo, which could also be added to your FOB, right? When people go to your FOB, they see, oh wow, this guy's created 2 maps, these are his stats, these are a couple of clips, he's got 4 camos that he's created, that's cool, right? And I think that even allowing people to sell their camos, right, for not for real money, but for COD points. Like if somebody likes your camo, maybe they can go to your page and be like, hey, I want that camo, and maybe they can pay cheap prices. You know what I'm saying? And again, everything is a give and take. Activision is not going to want any money going away from them, right? And we know this. So in order to get the camo creator, what do we have to do? Why don't you add colors, gradients, metals, stones, whatever have you, electronics, who knows, all these things in the store, right? So maybe if I want, I don't know, a diamond stone, or maybe if I want obsidian, or maybe if I want to add some effects to my camo, it can all be found and purchased in the microtransaction store. Now, as much as I hate that store, we just have to realize that Activision, that's who they are. So, but if you add a weapon creation system, right, where you can create camos for your weapon, people are going to be incentivized to purchase different types of things from the store as far as weapon creation is concerned with the camos. And so that's the key. You have to create a system that makes people want to purchase something because they feel like they're going to be rewarded for doing so. And I don't think that the current system that they have in place really gives players that good reward for actually spending their money. I think most people think that the microtransaction store is overpriced, and what you get in return is just not really good enough for what you spent. So I think that a weapon camo creation system is a wonderful start. Again, we can add it to the FOB to show people what else you bring to the Call of Duty community, and I think it would just further add to the creativity and the personalization of the experience. This next one is one I think is very important and often overlooked, okay? Now, we all know that every Call of Duty comes out, They have two modes essentially, right? You can play core and you can play hardcore. Core is typically the TTK that's associated with that Call of Duty, and hardcore is one-shot KO, blink of your eye. Why don't we do this? Let's do away with hardcore, okay? There tends to be two sides of the Call of Duty audience for the most part. You do have some people who enjoy hardcore, but there tends to be two sides of the coin. People who enjoy Black Ops 4, Call of Duty Cold War Time to Kill, and people who prefer the most recent Modern Warfare 2 Time to Kill, right? You have people who enjoy a fast TTK and people who enjoy a slower TTK. And we all know that typically Treyarch has slower time to kills, whereas Infinity Ward has faster time to kills. So what I would add would be, instead of core and hardcore, you would choose Infinity Ward, Treyarch. Because like I said previously, it tends to be you have people who just enjoy the Infinity Ward's time to kill, or you have people who enjoy a more slower time to kill that usually the Treyarch games tend to provide. And I think with this system, the whole argument of time to kill would disappear because both people would be happy. The people who want the faster time to kill that a game like MW2 or Modern Warfare 2019 provides would be able to go play that. And the people who prefer a slower time to kill, probably somewhere between Black Ops 4 and Cold War, either one would be fine. A Cold War time to kill or a Black Ops 4 time to kill, it really doesn't matter. They could choose that. And then that way, both sides would be happy. And with the map creation system, we'd be playing on good maps, so the time to kill wouldn't matter as much anyways because we wouldn't be playing on trash-ass maps like the one you see here in the background. This Skyline map is the quote-unquote best map in Black Ops 6, and it's still ass. You get shot from the side every single time. There's no lane integrity. I mean, it's honestly like Treyarch didn't make these maps. So I think that these couple of things here would really just add to it, and I think that being able to select your time to kill and your experience would truly make for a much better overall experience. Listen, I'm going to give you the realistic take on skill-based matchmaking, okay? I understand fully what the purpose is, right? You don't want people to feel like they're getting absolutely destroyed, so they quit the game, okay? I understand that. But my problem with skill-based matchmaking is you really create a system that never allows anyone to get better, okay? I don't want to go against Timmy No Thumbs who has a 0.3 KD every game, right? That's boring, and it does get boring, and I do like challenging matches. But when you create a system that only allows bad people to play against bad people and good people to play against good people, then what happens when that bad person gets better, right? When I was playing Call of Duty back in the day, getting spawn trapped on my first COD, getting destroyed, going 13 and 47, right? I ended up getting better. And you know what my reward was? My reward was being able to clap lobbies and go on kill streaks. But with the current system, let's say somebody's bad and they've been protected by skill-based matchmaking. When they get better, what is their reward? A harder lobby and people that are going to destroy them. The skill-based matchmaking system serves a purpose but needs to be revamped, and I would change a multitude of things just to protect the worst of the worst. These are a couple of my ideas for Call of Duty, and I think if Call of Duty doesn't innovate on a level like this, then I don't know if there's any saving it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.